That's funny.
Good evening, everyone. The time
tries.
is now 5:29. We are broadcasting on all platforms.
Yep.
Now leave the football game on so we know it's scoreless.
I've known that kid since he was about 12 years old. He really is.
I like it.
Chuck, can we put the U of I game up online?
Sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to open up the December 30th, 2025 Committee of the Whole meeting. If you all stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening. Mr. Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Yes, sir. Alderman Cox.
Here.
Alderman Gregory.
Here.
Alderman Williams.
Here.
Alderman Rockford.
Here.
Alderwoman Purchase.
Here.
Alderwoman Natrano. Alderman Carlson.
Here.
Alderwoman Conley.
Present.
Alderman Donlin.
Here.
Alderman Hanauer.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the committee meeting minutes from last committee.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions, comments? Any questions, comments? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. There are no presentations this evening, ladies and gentlemen, but I would like to take this opportunity. Hope everybody had a great holiday, but did also want to wish one of our own, Alderman Roy Williams, Ward 3, happy birthday. Mr. Clerk, ordinances remaining are tabled in committee. We have 2025-497, 2025-499. Anybody wish to act upon either one of those ordinances? Okay, seeing none, CWLP, Mr. Clerk.
CWLP 2025-517, an ordinance accepting bids and authorizing contract UE 26-10-37, rental of heavy equipment with Altoffer Inc. and Luby Equipment LLC for the total maximum amount not to exceed $425,000 for the Office of Public Utilities and the Office of Public Works.
Motion for consent?
Second. Motion and a second for consent. Any discussion, any discussion, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Mr. Clerk.
2025-518 is an ordinance authorizing an addendum to the professional services agreement with Scott Hanauer for assistance within the Emergency Services Office and authorizing additional funding for said addendum in the amount of $25,000 for the total amount not payable not to exceed $50,000 for the Office of Public Utilities.
Motion for consent?
Second. Motion and a second for consent. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
2025-519, an ordinance authorizing addendum to a professional services agreement with Mike Canvan for the employee training and software maintenance and assistance with the ERP upgrade and authorizing additional funding for said addendum in the amount of $16,000 for the total payable not to exceed $64,000 for the Office of Public Utilities.
Motion for consent.
Second. Motion and a second for consent. Any discussion from the alders? Any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. I will remind all of you, I don't have on my screen the box that tells when you raise your hand, so if you could physically raise your hand, that would be great. So, sorry, I'm not ignoring anybody. Mr. Clerk.
I'll hit you.
Yeah, he can hit me too, that's fine.
Okay. 2025-520, an ordinance authorizing a generator interconnection agreement with the relations to the MISO ERAS project between the City of Springfield, Lincoln Capital Land LLC, and Mid-Continent Independent Systems Operator, Inc., MISO, for the Office of Public Utilities.
Motion for consent?
Second.
Motion and a second for consent. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Mr. Clerk.
2025-521, an ordinance amending Chapter 50 of the 1988 City Code of Ordinances as amended regarding to electric utility rates for electric vehicle level 2 public charging stations, rate 75 for the Office of Public Utilities.
Motion. Second.
Motion and a second for the consent agenda. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Public Works, 2025-522, an ordinance accepting RFP PW 26-20 with Lewis Excavating for Snow Removal LLC to furnish supplemental snow removal services in the amount not to exceed $100,000 for the Office of Public Works.
Move consent.
Second.
Motion and a second for consent. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
2025-523, a resolution notifying the State of Illinois Department of Transportation that an additional $268,530 motor fuel tax funds may be spent for maintenance of streets and highways under the Illinois Highway Code for the calendar year 2026 for the Office of Public Works.
Chair will entertain a motion to adopt amendment number one.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none. Yes, Alderman Carlson.
And I don't know who, maybe it's Corporation Counsel. So the difference in the dollar amount, these state motor fuel tax funds, these are based on, is it population in Springfield or vehicles in Springfield? What's it based on?
Population and tax collected.
Okay, so,
And we have these funds, but we
right.
have to notify
right.
IDOT
So, I mean,
when we.
I'm trying, are we moving in the right direction there as far as a little bit higher? So, or is it a different count or?
We're anticipating additional work to be done in this fiscal year, which is why we're
Okay, that's
amending
fine.
the amount up.
That's fine. Thank you.
Anything else, Alderman?
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Any further discussion on amendment number one? All those in favor signify by saying aye of the adoption of amendment number one. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
Make a motion, we pass.
As amended to consent
As amended
agenda.
to consent, whatever.
Second.
You know what I meant.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderwoman Purchase. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Mr. Clerk.
2025-524, an ordinance authorizing supplemental appropriation in the amount of $650,000 for the Office of Public Works.
Motion for consent.
Motion and a second for the consent agenda for agenda item number 2025-524. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
General City Business, 2025-525, an ordinance authorizing the execution of an agreement with Springfield Area Arts Council for the first night and general operations for the FY26 sponsorship in the amount not to exceed the payment of $30,000 for the Springfield Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Motion for consent.
Second.
Motion and a second for the consent agenda. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
2025-526, an ordinance authorizing payment to Larry Stubbs, a current City of Springfield police officer, for settlement of workers' compensation claim number 25-WC-013624 in the amount not to exceed $22,487.28.
Move to consent.
Second.
Motion and a second for the consent agenda. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
2025-527, an ordinance amending Chapter 90, Section 90.15 of the 1988 Springfield Code of Ordinances as amended by adding a new liquor classification of P.
Move to debate.
Second.
I believe we're gonna have a amendment next week.
That's correct.
Move to debate.
Motion. Is there a second for the debate agenda?
Second.
Second. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
2025-528, an ordinance approving the authorization and execution of an agreement with City Water, Light, and Power and West Bend Mutual Insurance Company in regard to the property at 607 East Adams for the settlement and release of all claims against the City of Springfield and authorizing a supplemental appropriation.
Motion for consent.
Second.
Motion and a second for the consent agenda for agenda item 2025-528. Any discussion? Any discussion from the alders? Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
2025-530, an ordinance authorizing a tentative agreement between the City of Springfield Office of Public Works and the International Brotherhood of Teamsters Local 916 for the parking division from January 1, 2026 through December 31, 2028.
Motion for consent?
Second.
Motion and a second for the consent agenda. Any discussion, any discussion, any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it.
2025-531, an ordinance ratifying FY27 health insurance premiums and health benefits summary plan description for the City of Springfield active union participants for the Office of Human Resources.
Consent.
Second.
Motion and a second for the consent agenda. Any discussion, any discussion, any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Mr. Clerk.
2025-532, an ordinance ratifying the FY27 health insurance premiums and health benefits summary plan description for the City of Springfield active, non-union, and non-active retired participants in the Office of Human Resources.
Motion for consent, yes, second.
Motion and a second for the consent agenda. Alderman Gregory.
Yes, so I just had a question before we put it on consent is, you know, I don't know if there's any retirees in here, but I just want to make sure that they are aware that it's going to go up a little bit. And Chairman, if you can remind me, I thought before when we had an issue with retiree premiums that we put in some to make it lower, or to keep it lower. Am I mistaken with that? before the
That's
last
something
one?
we'd have to ask HR. Is somebody from HR here? We can answer that question?
We've had a couple.
Or OBM? Any volunteers?
Or from the committee?
I'll run up at once.
Well, Kelly has more of a history about it from last year.
Sure. Ms. Metzger, do you want to go first?
Yeah, let me go first. So, I think it was 2 years ago, we took the, the HSA employer contribution, what would be contributed to an active employee, and we embedded that in the rate to reduce the rate for the high deductible health plan for the retirees.
All right, thank
And so
you.
that still is carried through.
Okay. All right, thank you. Did you have anything to add?
Yes, ma'am. Either one of you want to add? Is that
That's
enough?
from my understanding, yes, unfortunately.
anything else, Alderman?
No. No,
Okay.
sir, thank you. I just want to be.
Any other discussion? Thank you, ladies. Any other discussion? Any other discussion? Yes,
Larry
Alderman
Roberts
Williams.
retiring, and he wanted to know, since he's retired, is there any way to get it lower?
Thank you, Alderman.
That's my question.
He may have to vote present.
Is that a question you'd like to defer to the Health Committee for an answer later?
I'll get with it.
Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Any unfinished business to come before the council this evening? Any unfinished business?
One thing,
Yes, Alderman.
I forgot you can't see my screen. So, one thing, Corporation Counsel, Murdoch, and Director Fuchs, you know, there's a house, 19-something Poe, and we're well aware of it. So, this house, we've been just trying to get some trash removed, and this is a constant conversation, so that's really not my point. But I think as we move into this new year, we have to really, really dig into what we're going to do with these vacant houses, and how do we, you know, because now, you know, the guys, he's agreed he's going to tear it down after, you know, been dealing with this house for years. Now he's going to agree to tear it down, get more time. That's fine, but it's a house that could be repaired, and we have a lot like that we need to get a hold of somehow quicker and get them sold and rehabbed and stuff like that. And you know, I know we've had a lot of conversation about a lot of things, but this is something that is really bothering me and it's lagging. You know, I've been here going on 7 years, going on 8, whatever, and some of these same houses are still vacant. So, you know, I send my emails. I try not to come up here and do this, you know, but after so many emails and so much inaction, I mean, I sent this in October, consistently, and the stuff's still there. We're about to go into a new year. Now he's going to tear it down, so I guess we're going to leave it there until he tears it down. I asked for a 24-hour on it because it is exposed trash. We've done that before. It's right next to some homes that are trying to do it. You know, and the communications say we haven't got the order from Corporation Counsel yet to remove it. So, you know, these type of situations, this communication between the two departments, they got to get better. I can't have this in. It's just ridiculous. And, you know, the more we go through it and the more we wait on these things, you know, the more and more houses we see boarding up, we turn down, and it's just so hard to replace them. You know, I was just watching a national thing on just the shortage of housing, period. And we want to save as many as we can. And, you know, I'm all about tearing them down as well. But there's, you know, I've been doing a little studying, and, you know, there's some things that we can do quicker to try to get some of these houses quicker that are just sitting there. I'm not talking about something that's nice and, you know, but they have violations on them. They're boarded. They're well within our right to go after and try to get them. And I just want us to try to, in 26, think of some ways to really get aggressive after these vacant houses. That's been there for a while, years and years and years. We have to get to a point where we got to do something with them. And, you know, that'll be part of my discussion at our infrastructure meeting and going forward for real focus, you know, for me in 26 is trying to save them and figure out how we get a handle on them, because it's just getting to a point where they're just targets for fly dumping. And, you know, it's a lot. It's a lot on our workers, and this is now no knock to our inspectors or our workers. They do a great job on what we're allowing them to do. But us up here on the management level, on the council level, we gotta figure this thing out. And I'm just speaking on vacant, boarded up, about to fall down houses. Nothing else. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. Anything further?
No, sir.
Okay, any further unfinished business? Hearing none, before we get into new business, I did want to announce that we all received yesterday on the council the schedule for the upcoming budget workshops. Believe it or not, it's almost that time of the year. The first workshop will be Wednesday, January 14th of next year at 5:30 in this very room, and we will have the budget overview. We will hear from the Treasurer's Office, the City Council Coordinator, Mayor, Springfield CVB. On the Thursday, the 15th, which will be the second workshop at 5:30, we will hear from the Library, the Office of Planning and Economic Development, Human Resources, Public Works, and the Office of Budget and Management. And then finally, as far as the workshops go, obviously there'll be other meetings as well. On Thursday, January 22nd at 5:30 in this room, we will hear from the Police Department, Fire Department, and City Water, Light, and Power. Look forward to seeing you all more next month. Any other new business? Oh, we have a lot this evening. Alderwoman Purchase.
Thank you, Chair. So tomorrow's New Year, well, it's New Year's Eve at Kids EM. It starts at 9 a.m. It is free admission for everyone in the entire city. We encourage to bring the kids out. This is our way of celebrating with the kiddos at noon, 12 noon, but they can hang out and explore Alex and climb through Alex's body throughout the day and go on all 3 levels. And then maybe about 10 minutes before we do the countdown, they'll come and gather around, and we have confetti to pop and big balls to drop down over the kids, and it's so nice. This is my 4th or 5th year doing this, so I'm very excited. We had about 1,500 last year, so I'm hoping we carry that same number. And then as we move forward, I want to wish everyone a happy New Year's. Please be safe going out tomorrow night. Be safe driving back home and having fun in the bars, and I'm hoping to see our officers out tomorrow night as well, and we want to make sure that they get back home. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Alderwoman. Next, we have Alderman Hanauer.
Thank you, Chair. With the budget coming up, in the past quite a few years, you've been the chairman of the budget hearings, and you've done such a fine job, and I don't know if anybody else wants to do it, but I nominate Jim to, I nominate Jim to do it again this year. Unless somebody else wants to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not volunteering myself, but I think he does a great job. But it's time for somebody else. It's time for somebody else. He got another last year. You got another last year. It's somebody else. It's time. It's time to get comfy. Somebody. Aaron,
Nominating yourself?
Alderwoman Conley. No, I'm not. I'll be
But
talking too much.
I will say the fact that it's 5:45 and we're at new business, I'm going to go ahead and let Jim Donner do this one more time.
What?
Looks like you're stuck with me for
I
another year.
know.
All right.
I know. I know.
Talk on the 14th.
There you go.
Right.
Okay, next on the agenda next on the list is Alderman Carlson.
Thank you, Chair. I'll try to make it quick. Chief Beal, if you got a second, I'm sorry I couldn't talk to you earlier today, but I know with the budget season coming up, you know, in light of the last couple of days, I mean, Chatham Road was closed down yesterday for a couple hours, a bad accident. You know, we lost a life today on Wabash Avenue.
Sure.
I mean, you know, and I'm sure we'll get into the numbers. I mean, as we know, what, 10, 11, 12 years ago, we had a number of officers in the traffic unit division. I mean, are we moving in the right direction?
Yeah, we're
in
trending
that unit?
Yeah, we're trending in the right direction. Actually, as of, Monday, last Monday, we added 15 more officers to our ranks. So, that brings our number right now to, I believe, right at 253. So our authorized strength being 269, 253, 255.
So we can move a few,
So,
I mean,
yes.
your
Yeah.
business, I'm not getting into it,
Yeah,
but
sure.
obviously we've
No,
talked
no, I
about
get
this
it,
a number
yeah.
of times, but I mean, Alderman Hannah and I already talked about it today. I don't know if it's cameras or if it's just more, whatever, wolf pack patrols without announcing them or something, but I think we all can share what's going on.
And that's
in the
something
city of
that we
Springfield. It just
did,
seems like it's
yeah.
getting worse, and then in light of the last 2 days, I mean, those people had to be going at high rate of speed. What was going on?
I'm sure. And it's something that we did earlier in the year to your point with the Wolfpack, is we teamed up with our law enforcement partners in the area, Sangamon County Sheriff's Office and the Illinois State Police, to kind of do details like that on those main thoroughfares.
Do we have to announce those, Corporation Counsel? Is that, I don't know, is that a state law? We have to announce those or
No.
not? Okay.
The roadside
I think-
safety
'cause
checks
I
have
think
to
that one
be-
was
yeah.
announced.
Yeah, roadside safety checks do have to be announced, but the state police manages all those.
Okay, all right. I'm sure we'll get into some of that more during
For sure.
budget time, so.
For sure.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Chief, before you go, I just as an aside, it's related to this. I've seen some excellent anti-texting and driving PSAs that the National Highway Transportation, probably messing up their name, board, they put out. The partnership with some other groups are really good, and maybe we could cobble those into our mix and messages, with
Absolutely.
communications as well. They're very well done, and obviously they won't cost anything, but I can't tell you when I'm out driving around that just in Springfield, when I have not seen someone on their phone driving.
Yeah.
And it is, I'm sure everyone in this room is probably guilty of it at some time in our driving careers, but I just encourage those to put it in the I almost said mailbox, put it in the glove box, put it under the seat, turn it off, whatever, because a lot of these unexplained accidents that are happening not only here but throughout the state, I'm convinced are happening because people are looking at their phone and screen, so.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
And, you know, go back to, back in May, June, when I stood up here for my appointment, and that's one thing we talked about with pretty much everybody in the horseshoe was traffic. So, yeah, it's definitely on the radar. We do, hit the streets as much as we possibly can, putting extra patrols and details together, so we'll continue that, and we can have further conversation on that later.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Chief, wait. Or just,
Make our way around.
yes, I know I'm next on the list, because that actually did remind me, when we first started authorizing the electronic billboards, because those were really, they started in my ward.
Sure.
One of the things that we asked that the company agreed to was to allow public service announcements on those. It doesn't happen frequently and not-for-profit kind of stuff, but as Alderman Donelan just pointed out, this may be a time for us to reach out and see if we can't get some of those, the NTSB, just put down your phone messages on those electric boards.
Sure.
Because we have quite a few of them in the city now, and they're starting to spread out. And I agree that we see it all the time, and it's discouraging, people on their phones. I realize I'm saying let's have them look at a different screen.
Read this
So
instead of
there's
this.
that. Yes, read up here, not down there.
Sure.
But again, it might be something that we could take advantage of and reach out. Maybe communications can reach out to them too, and
Sure.
we could try to get a little campaign going. Or we can always use your, the speed signs that have such fun messages on them.
Yeah, we could do that as well, for sure. So,
Thank you.
Anything further, Alderman?
I did have
Yeah,
one other
please.
thing, on a much, and not for you, Chief, at all.
Chief.
Thanks.
But on a much less heavy note, just a reminder to the community, if you've done what I did and go and put up your lights this year, found a whole bunch of strands that didn't work, we are recycling those lights, so please don't put them in the trash. You can bring them into the municipal building here. We've got a big box downstairs. Love to see people not, let's divert as much as we can from the landfill. We can recycle those here, so. And I think this will be the year that I bring my box that I keep saving up down with me to a meeting. So, other than that, Happy New Year to everybody.
Alderman.
Let's hope for 2026.
Any citizens to sign up to address the committee this evening, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Clerk?
First speaker is Bree Roberts.
Bree.
Guys, this was the fastest meeting ever. I had to rush here after work. This is crazy. Anyways, Hi, I'm Brianna Roberts, and I feel like I have to reintroduce myself because it's become apparent that some people in this room seem to only recognize me within these walls and not out in the city. So, just in case you don't know, I'm Brianna Roberts. Tonight, I want to give Springfield Cities Wrapped based off of public available data, city documents, and crime reporting. Every year, if you use Spotify, you know Spotify gives you Spotify Wrapped, and it's like this huge anticipated thing, and I kind of wanted to do the same for Springfield and list some of the things that need more attention, but also focus on some of the successes. So, our most skipped genre this year was locally owned businesses. In roughly 9 months, downtown Springfield lost what it seemed like to be 13 locally owned businesses with more than 20 closures throughout the entire city. These are brick and mortar businesses that employed Springfield residents, they paid rent, and they took risks. And each closure, of course, had its own reasons. But common factors kept appearing, such as low foot traffic, safety concerns, and lack of sustained support. So I hope a discussion we look forward to next year is how we can reinstate business and traction downtown specifically. Crime was a theme this year, unfortunately. Springfield recorded 11 homicides, several of those including firearms, which led to some very long discussions about that here in these chambers. And there were over 100 motor vehicle thefts just by the end of February alone. It was a terrible year to own a Kia and a Hyundai. I would know. Per capita, though, Springfield continues to rank among the most dangerous cities in Illinois, despite having much smaller populations than major metro areas. Our population has decreased by 1,400 residents since the last census, which is concerning. This means there are fewer workers, fewer students, and most importantly, fewer taxpayers. Housing stability was the most ignored in Springfield, as we continue to face challenges with aging housing stock, code enforcement gaps, persistent concentration of poverty in the same zip codes, and when housing is unstable and outcomes are unpredictable, with given information, we've seen that it leads to worse health, school disruptions, and higher crimes. And when we came and spoke about a landlord registry, it was shot down, and we were not even given the option to voice our opinions and let you know what the city wanted. But this was a hard year, but it wasn't just losses. We had good conversation about cannabis tax investments, allocating a portion of it to revenue towards economic and neighborhood-focused grants that focused on minority-owned businesses and local stabilization efforts that reflected intentional prioritization. Even though we lost a lot of local businesses, there was a focus to downtown investment, including gifted grants and some newer businesses opening that will hopefully keep the revenue alive in downtown as we're like in this transition period right now. And affordable housing was a main topic that we discussed a lot this year with the expansion project, committing to 50 new affordable homes, which shows some understanding to housing stability, equaling public safety, economic stability, and dignity. But most importantly, I want to highlight a big win for Springfield that came from the residents of this town. This year, people showed up, we spoke, organized, and participated. And there were several council members that really supported the people, that engaged and responded with seriousness when it matters, and that gives some hope for positive change next year. With the work of the Massey Commission and the creation of the Purple Coalition, there is hope for more honest conversation and actionable change as long as leaders like you decide to work with those who are starting the conversation. Spotify Wrapped is just there to show you common patterns in your life, to show you where your interests are and where they are not. And I hope, even though I was fast, some of the things that I highlighted today kind of showed the same for you. And hopefully skews your decisions about what kind of topics you want to focus on and discuss next year, where there are areas that need attention in Springfield and what we have done good on so we can move forward and focus on the areas that we neglected. Thank you. Happy New Year, and I am excited to see the changes for the new year. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Work.
Jen Pasha.
Evening, everybody. Getting ready to close out the year, and I think she gave a pretty good summation, but I think there's a few things that we could also note for everybody. I think it's really important that as we close out the year, we do really consider our failures as a city. They do continue to mount. And I think it's unfortunate that even though we have a deep pocket of resources and available ideas and minds and people, that we continue to see these problems fester. Whether it be a landlord registry that continues to fail. This isn't the first attempt in the city of Springfield to find some sort of regulatory system for nascent and poor housing in this city. The problem is that we failed to resolve that issue. Council after council has asked for faith that they will resolve it without a registry. I don't think that I need to go over the kind of results that demand a registry. We've heard enough about it. And it'd be nice, starting in 2026, if we took it a little bit more seriously than just saying that we're going to come up with ideas, right? Just coming up with ideas and working towards a goal. People are still living in bad conditions. People are still suffering. People are still getting kicked out of their homes. I know somebody on Christmas Eve who called me with help with their sister. Do you know that she was evicted from her home Christmas Eve? Who is she going to call? Anybody open? You guys taking calls Christmas Eve? I guess that's the kind of thing you don't hear about when you live in the area that you live in the areas that I live in, right? And I think that's the kind of thing that we really ought to consider when we move into 2026 is that separation of reality. It's very easy to sit in a bureaucratic space and talk about taking more time or consideration or studies or grants or just the endless load of bureaucracy. But in the day-to-day, people are out there suffering. And whether it's a landlord registry or a failure to recognize some of the longer-term issues, like our traffic problem, more enforcement's not going to fix that. Shoving more police has never been the issue into fixing problems in Springfield. 5-to-1 disparity on pullovers, right? How's that working out? It doesn't change anything. What we actually need is more education. The Secretary of State, Alexi Giulianis, has a program right now, One Road, One Focus. How many of you even know that exists? It's a literal program dedicating funding to anti-texting, distracted driving campaigns. They're spending real money on it because that's a real issue, and part of it is enhanced patrols. But it's not just pulling people over. It's actually getting out there and paying attention to what's going on, because one of the biggest issues I do see in your ward, Brad, driving to the mall every day, are the kind of people who weave around on their phones or think that they're in charge of the road. They'll literally start executing their will, slamming on their brakes, swerving in front of people. I call them Captain Traffic. Dun, 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 dun. It's a joke, dude. It's a deadly vehicle. We're in a multi-ton vehicle moving at high speeds. There isn't a phone message on earth. Are you directing open heart surgery? I mean, seriously, you look stupid. I've yelled at people myself in traffic, and with my raised enhanced profile, they're like, hey, I know that guy. He just told me to go F myself. Get off my phone. Because you're going to get somebody hurt, just like we saw today. And I don't even know if they were going high speed. I think that's a big assumption to make. I would ask the officers at the scene how that accident actually occurred, because you can die at 20 miles an hour. 80 isn't required, 65, 50. But I will say, driving down the Wabash Corridor every day, man, death rate's 5,000, right? Like, I've literally seen people driving crazy down that road. And what happens? Little to no enforcement. But we go to my side of town, man, I can count them on two hands. Sometimes I run out of hands before I even get home. That's wild. Why don't we see more enforcement out there? That's a really good question. And I guarantee that if we're seeing more enforcement out there, we might actually see some people slowing down, right? But real enforcement, not just pulling people over because they're going fast, that's not the only issue. The issue is that so many people don't take the time to consider the people in their community around them. I'm going to spend my final 30 seconds talking about that because I think that's a really important note for 2026. We have primary elections coming up. We have a lot of big things going on, but we still have a lot of failures dragging with us from this year. And we have problems to confront. But the city of Springfield continues to have a long list of problems that we continue to add to. And I'm not seeing a lot of solutions. So I challenge the city council, just like I challenge my own community for the coming year. We have to come up with better solutions than wait and see. Wait for the courts to decide. Wait for the ordinances to get written. There is real action that can be done out here in this community, and it's time that we stop waiting for something to actually happen. No one is coming to save us. We're the adults, right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you, man.
Mr. Clerk?
Tiara Standage.
I do.
Abdul Muhammad.
Hello, Springfield City Council. This is about my 5th time coming to Springfield. I just got me a disability check. I called the Illinois Department of Human Services, backdated my SNAP midterm report and made it a redetermination. And then they said that they're going to take $260 worth of my link because of my future benefits. I'm the victim of human trafficking. I was born in San Diego. Illinois is working off 2 of my names. One name gets nothing, the other one gets a disability check, but minus my history. My history is 2025, I lost my fingers and had to deal with get some help from somebody. Instead of being an independent person like I used to be, now I got to get some help. And then I found out I'm being trafficked. I went to I was in the Illinois Army National Guard from 86 to 92. And they caught me smoking weed. So I asked the guy, let me go back to my unit. He said, drive on, soldier, and I did for another whole year. And then at the end of that period, one of those attack officers called me an N-word. And so I drove on for another year, and when it was time to walk across the stage, they called me at my job at the American Bar Association and told me, didn't you say you smoke weed? Well, you can't graduate. This was after I bought my uniforms, after I got my assignment, after I bought my insignia and spent all that time. They wasted my time. 30 years later, well, let me go back to 2000. I lost my fingers and I had to ask for some help because my hands are very important to me, okay? So that's why I came to Springfield for, because they backdated my stuff and I had been catching them. Before 2000, before COVID came, I had put in a complaint about this. And what they did, they gave me 2 meetings. The first one, they barred me from state buildings forever, all state buildings forever, which is a lie. And then the second one, they said I didn't come. And then I've been trying to find out every year. My landlord kidnapped me using 5 different names. I can't get anybody to look at the evidence. I got this evidence right here, strictly Illinois. I got the evidence for the Illinois Army National Guard, and I got Springfield police just ignoring me. You want to know why we can't get nothing done? Because willful ignorance, deliberate indifference, and cognitive dissonance, any one produces the other 2. So what the police have been doing to me is ignoring me. They go speak to the power. Every police, I can't get a Freedom of Information Act request because they say it's too voluminous. They created the work. I needed to come here to the state capitol to get proof that I was due diligence and I'm doing my job because the record that these people are painting me, I'm a nobody. I'm somebody that you should shun. I'm supposed to be neglected. The police department failed to help me in any way all this time. I'm sitting over here. When I first got here, I had 2 suitcases full of evidence. The first police, I've been denied my Freedom of Information Act request. That first one, I had all my stuff on the table. I had just got finished talking to Tammy Duckworth and went to the state's attorney's office, and I did a whole day's work. Then I get back to the hotel. When I first got to the hotel, they charged me $200, didn't tell me why, then another $50 deposit. Didn't tell me why. So I had the disability money, I didn't care. I had no money for 9 years. Ever since, well, whatever. When they banned me in 2019, I had no link. All I had was the food depository in my Section 8. The Chicago Housing Authority is trafficking me too. Cook County accepted phony paperwork from my supposedly new landlord, took it all. The summons that they gave me had no courtroom, no court date, no court time. Connections for the Homeless in Evanston called Chicago Housing Authority in Chicago. Neither one of them could find my case on their computers. You got to go straight to the Daily Center. When I finally was able to get my case from the Daily Center, I found another judge and another lawyer and another somebody else getting evicted in my case. Same day that my connections for the for the homeless told me they wanted me to